Hey guys, welcome back to the Big Black Coffee Club. In the last episode we talked about the Sculptor series and the infamous Lago Mini. Instead of the Mini, it was the Casa 65. So this time we're going to talk about a few coffee machines. But before we jump into that with Chris, let me introduce those two brands that we want to talk about. One is the famous Rocket Espresso. On the other side, in the right corner, is the Lelit. The two brands, both Italian. Actually, one of them has some little bit of New Zealandish tint. That's the Rocket Espresso. Both of them are active since the 1990s. The Rocket is like the early 2000s. Lelit started out as a industry, household company, basically building ironing machines and sewing machines and some other stuff. Now they are pretty much famous about their household and semi-professional coffee machines. And on the other end, there is the Rocket Espresso, which started out as the ECM brand in Italy. Then it had some New Zealandish investment, and then they continued the brand as Rocket Espresso. And today we're going to talk about the two top-end machines.
It's close to that. I think it's important to say that Lelit hits more on the consumer side, and Rocket hits more on the prosumer and higher end, actually pro side for the users. So Lelit, they do not have a professional machine, right? For commercial use.
Actually, I've never seen it. So
yeah, but Rocket does. So they have two group head machines also that they can sell, and also their prosumer machines. I believe at the moment their top tier machine for prosumer use is the R9, which is automatic with volumetric pump, and it has some actually inbuilt features that makes the user experience much more automatized than what Lelit at the Bianca can do. And Lelit has much more lower end machines as well, from around the price range of 500 euros
yep.
to the Bianca, which is 2,500
right now, yeah.
euros, something like that. Rocket's cheapest machine is the Appartamento, I think, and they start around 1,500 euro.
And they all have E61 group head, right? In the Rocket.
The Rocket machines, they do have E61 group heads. The R9 is a newer design, so it doesn't have it's not lever actuated. And Lelit has all sorts of machines with not just 58 millimeter group heads, but 57 for home users and not smaller. But they do have inbuilt grinders and many machines. The Rocket lineup is much smaller than the Lelit.
Yeah, actually, I was Lelit. I was the entry-level user. It was a 58 millimeter. It was the Lelit Glenda. It was a single boiler. It was pretty easy to maintain, easy to use.
58 or 57 mil?
It was a 58. So that was the first like entry level on the 58. I used that for, I don't know, 5 years or so.
Okay.
And then basically we were both Bianca brothers.
Yeah, for quite some time now. I own a Bianca for more than a year, 1.5 years now. And you have it for like two? Or?
For two and a half, yep.
Yeah, and we've been quite happy with the Biancas, delivering quality. And I think the extras are really nice, that you can set it up for a pre-infusion. You can set it up for automatic turn off, which can save you a lot of electricity, and of course the pedal, right?
Yeah, I mean, but before we jump into the pedal, we want to help the average users, because I know many of you, or I assume many of you is in between, like, should I go for the Rocket R58 or should I go for the Lelit Bianca, which is, as Chris mentioned, has the pedal, some nice wooden finish, and of course it's much cheaper. The new price, the retail price is much cheaper than the Rocket. But if you go to the used market, which you actually did,
exactly,
the price is pretty much leveling out. Of course, there is like a 1-2 year difference, and if you look at the Lelit Bianca range, for example, you have V1, V2, V3 with some incremental updates. The software got better. A little bit the assembly got better because they realized that it's rattling like crazy. The V1 and V2 rattle like crazy. The V3 that I have is a little bit better, and I think it's just fine. I mean, the pump is silent, but the whole housing is just rattles. And for me, when I used your machine with the
V2,
with the V2, it was pretty apparent that when we compared it to the Rocket was that silent compared to the Bianca. That was my limited experience with that. But let's help our viewers. And what's your experience with both of them? What's your day-to-day usage? Like of course everybody's interested. How does the coffee taste? I tell you guys, there's not much difference. Like the machine is like not going to give you that edge. Like that's a TLDR, but there is a significant, or not a significant. For me, that was a difference between the two machines. But you have much more experience.
For me, first of all, why do I have one Rocket 58 and a Lelit Bianca? Well, I had the opportunity to buy a €1,500 Lelit Bianca on the second-hand market, and I did the same. I had the opportunity to buy a €1,500 Rocket R58, which is very similar, with two very similar machines, but the Lelit Bianca is from 2020 or 2021, a V2 machine that has, well, I've never recognized, to be honest, these rattling on it.
And it was Jason's Bianca, by the way,
yeah, exactly.
Who is not with us today, but yeah, it was his.
Exactly. And so that's like a 4 or 5 years old machine. The Rocket is from 2008 or 2010, something like that. So it's a much older machine. But the build quality of these machines that has, as I said, a very similar price on the market and a very similar experience on how you brew coffee and how you can enjoy the lever actuator and get a nice shot. Important thing to note is that how I use the Rocket is that it also has a pedal, a small pedal, as the E61 group had, enables you to use the needle valve to close and open the water flow on the group head. So I can do a long pre-infusion, I can do a low pressure extraction with the machine, which is very similar to the Lelit Bianca. But Lelit enables you to use the pedal in a very small range of, and you need to choose either you use the pedal with the full flow open or with the flow fully closed. So you can choose if you want to fully close the flow of the water, or you want to open up and let it flow very fast. The difference is that with the Rocket needle valve, you can fully close the valve and fully open it, as it has multiple rotation.
Yeah, I mean, I use that. I tried out both of them. Of course, I'm a day-to-day Lelit user, and for me it was super easy to use. Like, left side fully closed, right side fully open, with a small caveat that it can only produce in that shape or form 6 milliliters per second max flow, which is not so high. So that's one of the big drawbacks of the Lelit Bianca. In comparison to the R58, it's much different. Like, that produced like around 9 or 10 milliliters per second, or even more. So that was So when you did the pre-infusion, like a fast pre-infusion, it was banging on the puck with a lot of water. But then if you wanted to close it, it was like multiple rotations. So I felt like a squirrel in the treadmill, like trying to, rotate. And I was never fast enough, like in that one or two occasions when I used it. What's your experience on a day-to-day basis?
Of course, if you have the day-to-day experience to use that, you don't, for that really fast flow of water for pre-infusion, you don't need to fully open it, because if you open it 1.5 rotation, then it's enough open to have a quick and fast 2-bar. Then you can fully close it, have a nice pre-infusion, let it drip, and then open it up again for like a 3/4 or 1 rotation.
How do you feel about the steam between the two?
I think the rocket needs a service, first of all. That's something I needed to recognize, that probably the steam boiler has some stain in it, and it needs to get a full checkup and probably some removal, because it's not 100%. I think Lelit's steam is much better at the moment. My Lelit machine is much better at producing steam than the rocket.
Heat up time?
The heat up time is really fast. I would say the heat up on the rocket is much faster than the Lelit. I think it's like really, you can brew a coffee in 5 to 10 minutes. Wow. Really.
Wow.
Lelit is really minimum 15, but rather 20. I think that it has a much better insulation than the Lelit. The frame, the stainless steel frame of the machine is much more sturdier. It's a bit heavier as well. So if you check the specs,
it's not a bit heavier. It's way heavier.
But on paper it's like 3 or 4 kilos heavier than the Lelit. So yeah, even in the tech specs, you can see that it's heavier, even though it is a much more compact machine. It is smaller.
If you are tech savvy, there is a difference between the boilers, because your brew boiler is
brass.
It's brass and it's smaller. I believe it's like 1/2 liter, and mine is like 0.8. Not big of a difference, exactly. 1 mug. But the Lelit, both boilers are stainless steel. So if you have some corrosive water, because the alkalinity is so low, you might not suffer that much with the Lelit as you would suffer with the R58. But that's like a minor difference. But now let's jump into the most interesting thing.
One more thing.
Oh, what's your one more thing?
Yeah. And the brass boiler can help you to transfer the heat faster. So that's my theory, that the rocket boiler is much faster to be able to heat up and get the temperature, and be able to provide you the necessary temperature for brewing a coffee than the Lelit. But once it's on, it retains the heat very well. And
coffee taste?
Coffee taste?
Difference? Same?
It's the same.
The same?
I do not experience any difference.
Okay. And what would you suggest for someone in the new market and used market? Both? Like, which one should they go? I mean,
so that's
who is the R58 for, and who is the Lelit Bianca for? I know the Lelit Bianca is for me. I know.
For instance, in the rocket, the pump was already changed once.
Oh.
So that you can calculate. It's the same pump in both of the machines. That's not a cheap accessory in the machine. It should be around 150 euro, right? And that is actually the cheaper part. If your motor dies, then it gets even more expensive to change it. So that's true for both of the machines.
Yeah, true. So we can say that if you're a little bit short on budget, because we cannot speak like short in this price range, and you don't really worry about a little bit of rattling and whatnot, you can go with the Lelit. You will get good quality coffee. But if you want better build quality and I don't know, faster heat up time, the same coffee, and you're fine with the multiple rotations of the needle valve, and you need to buy that needle valve because that's not out of the box.
True. Yeah.
Then you can go with the.
You need to insert it. Of course, you need to be very careful not to scratch the surface of these beautifully polished machines.
And for Lelit is out of the box. So if you want a full package, go with the Lelit, and that's why I think many of us picks the Lelit, even though the build quality is not that great, and the software is crappy as an Alfa Romeo, and slow, but we never really use the software. I have to tell that there is a pre-programmable, pre-infusion, low-infusion, low pressure, whatever. I never use it. If I want to do pressure profiling, then I'm using the pedal. That's it.
I think that's really interesting that you're saying you're not using ever the software, right?
I tried.
You're not changing the temperature.
I'm changing the temperature. That's the only thing that I use. The Lelit has these options of slow infusion, pre-infusion, whatsoever. I tried it out a couple of times, but then since I'm changing coffee almost every day, I just use the pedal and use my profile that I want to replicate.
And I'm the same. And with the Rocket, you can actually detach your computer from the machine.
True.
And I think it's a nice extra that Rocket made it possible to just detach your computer from the machine. So it doesn't have to stay there. You set up your machine. Whenever you need to change some settings, you can do that. Attach again the computer, and otherwise just take it away.
But then,
and you have a very sleek, very traditional-looking machine.
You have
only with the pressure sensor.
But then, basically, you can buy anything else, like a Synchronica or something else, without the computer, because you paid for something that you're not going to use.
True, but you can set it up still. And
true,
you're right. But
you can set it up before Get and Go.
We would need to check, and probably we will give you some table with the price comparison with the same machines. Like how much is the Rocket R58? How much is the ECM Synchronica or I don't know, Expo Bar, Brutus Leva 4, and
or now it's
so these really high-end prosumer machines with dual boiler, with PID controller in both of the boilers, with E61 group heads. I think there's like 4 or 5 machines.
And now we have a new kid on the block, the Gotcha GT.
Yeah, but it's not E61 group.
It's not E61, right? But it checks all the boxes. So I'm interested in the Gotcha GT. So if someone is watching the video and working for Gotcha, we are happy to test the new machine. But so final conclusion from my end, whatever you like, I'm gonna stay with the Bianca. Chris?
That's a good question. And
are you missing the Bianca?
The true thing is
yes.
that I'm not. No, I'm not missing the Bianca, but I still don't know what I'm gonna do. So maybe we'll.
You're gonna buy a decent.
Never. I don't want that.
Or you're gonna wait for the meticulous. Meticulously wait for the meticulous forever.
Meticulous could be interesting.
I'm interested in that as well.
I am really interested in that one, but I would not risk my money in that project as long as it's not coming.
Let's save this for a new video.
Yeah. But
so, final statement?
The thing is, guys, I really don't know what I'm gonna do, but I can promise that when I decided and when I will have my final machine and the one machine from the Rocket R58 or the Lelit Bianca is gone, I'm gonna let you guys know.
Thank you.
Cheers.
If you like the video, hit the subscribe and like button. See you next time.
See you.